Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Hello, my friend. Welcome back to Web Accessibility for All. I am your host, Ariel. And today we are going to have a real talk episode. We need to talk about the messy reality of how we build user interfaces and why the current methods are driving us all completely crazy. We are going to talk about UI-driven accessibility.
Oh, not again!
Is this a brand new invention?
No, not exactly. But as a philosophy, it is the missing link that most teams are ignoring.
The two fantasies.
In the textbooks or on the web, people tell you there are two ways to build websites.
Model A, the HTML first mindset.
This is the purest way, the old school way. The philosophy is
the browser knows best.
you use a button, you use a select, you use an HTML native tag, and they are right. It's robust. It works without JavaScript. If you can stay here, stay here.
Model B, the compliance-driven mindset.
This is the enterprise way. This isn't about engineering. It's about risk management. The goal here isn't good user experience. The goal is don't get sued. You build whatever you want. You run an automated tool like Axe or Lighthouse. It finds 50 bugs and you fix them one by one. It's reactive and very expensive. But be honest with me. Do you strictly live in those worlds? No, most of us work in the Frankenstein mix.
The Frankenstein mix, where we actually live.
Here is how the Frankenstein mix works. I know you know this flow. You start with HTML first. You write semantic HTML. But then the designer comes in.
That native select dropdown is ugly. It looks like Windows 95. We need it to have icons and a search bar, and it needs to be purple with rounded corners.
So you abandon HTML first. You build a custom widget using mostly divs. Then you get closer to the deadline, run the audit. The audit screams at you.
Violation. No accessible name. No keyboard trap.
So now you switch to compliance mode. You start patching. You start pasting ARIA attributes. And the result, honestly, well, a monster. A Frankenstein interface.
The burden of the lead.
The problem with the Frankenstein mix isn't just the code. It creates the super lead problem. Maybe you are the lead, the one person that knows how everything works. A hero. Well, if you are that lead, you know that your brain is the only thing holding the accessibility together. Imagine this is your Tuesday morning. Oh, Jonathan.
Hey, Ariel. I fixed the modal, but now when I close it, the focus jumps to the top of the page. Is that bad?
Yes, Jonathan, that's bad. You have to return focus to the trigger.
Ariel, quick change. The submit button should actually become a loading spinner. but it still needs to be focusable, but also disabled so they don't click it twice. Can we do that in 10 minutes?
The audit came back. We have 40 violations on the new checkout flow. The business analyst says we can't delay launch. Can you just, I don't know, put some accessibility on it? Just sprinkle it on top?
This is not sustainable. If the lead gets sick or goes on vacation, the accessibility of the product collapses. Hayden Pickering, the author of Inclusive Design Patterns, said something that really backs up our topic today.
The integrity of the interface is not a layer you apply, it is the structure you build.
Enter UI-driven accessibility.
This is the philosophy. State equals semantics. In this model, we stop writing accessible code and we start writing state machines. Let's look at that famous toggle switch again. In the Frankenstein model, you have a CSS class for when it is active, let's call it green, and an ARIA attribute for checked. It is possible for one to be true and the other to be false. In the UI-driven model, there are only one source of truth. Let's call it the isOn variable. If isOn is true, the CSS is green and the ARIA checked is true. They are handcuffed together. Now I can hear you saying,
"My team barely knows React. They don't know state machines, they just want to ship tickets."
The black box strategy.
As a lead, you build the atoms, the button, the model, the input. You do the hard engineering inside them. You make them accessible, and then you give them to your team as a black box. The junior dev doesn't need to know how the model traps focus. This creates a transparent flow. The developers are shipping accessible code without realizing it.
The reality check, the gap of death.
Let's stop the music for a second. Let's get real. I know that perfect design systems look great in a portfolio, but they often fall apart in the trenches. There is a flaw in the UI-driven model.
I'm sorry, what?
I call it the gap of death. We talked about black boxes, the atoms, but real apps are made of flows. A user clicks Add to Cart, a spinner appears, a toast message pops up, the cart counter updates. This is where the UI-driven model struggles. If your developer connects these boxes incorrectly, focus gets lost. The screen reader says nothing. The user is stranded. And this brings up the biggest criticism of this framework. We trade one hero problem with another. In the Frankenstein model, the lead is a janitor. I am the hero because I am the only one who remembers where all the messy patches are hidden. If I get sick, nobody knows which div needs a tab index. In the UI-driven model, the lead becomes a wizard. I am the hero because I built a black box, so advanced, so abstract, and so complex that nobody else on the team understands how it works. In the first model, they are stuck because the code is too messy. In the second model, they are stuck because the code is too smart. If the code is too hard to understand, developers will bypass your fancy component and write a div because they have a deadline and they don't understand your state machine. And suddenly you are back to Frankenstein. We have to admit that a pure UI-driven model requires a very high level of discipline. And discipline is often the first casualty of a deadline.
The hybrid solution, the 80/20th rule.
The solution? We apply the 80/20 rule. We treat our application in 2 zones.
Zone 1 is the core.
These are your atoms and your complex widgets. The date pickers, the models, the tabs, the carousels. These make up maybe the 20% of your code base, but they cause 80% of your accessibility bugs. For these, we use strict UI-driven accessibility. We engineer them to be bulletproof. We lock them down. We don't let developers hack the model.
Zone 2 is the feature land.
This is the product card, the contact form, the marketing layout. Here we relax. We lean on the HTML first mindset. We tell devs,
just use semantic HTML.
And if and only if the design requires something crazy, we allow a little bit of patching. Why? Because it's resilient. If a developer breaks a product card, it's a small fix. If the developer breaks the global model, the app becomes unusable for many.
The Champions Network.
But wait, we still haven't solved the super lead problem. What happens if you or the team or front-end lead win the lottery tomorrow and decide to move to a tropical island with 0 Wi-Fi? This is where you stop trying to clone yourself and start building a champions network. You cannot be in every grooming session. You cannot review every pull request. So you identify one person on every squad and you make them the accessibility champion. You train them and they become your eyes and ears inside your squad. When the product manager tries to rush a feature, they raise the hand. When a junior dev uses a div for a button, they catch it in the code review. You as the lead provide the system, the components, but the champions provide the conscience. This is the only way to scale. Roles are shifted. The focus moves from being just code writers to become interaction architects. The interaction contract is defined with designers before the sprint starts.
When this closes, where does focus go? When this updates, what does the screen reader say?
If the blueprint is defined, the house can be built by the team, without the hammer being held every step of the way.
Wrapping up.
UI-driven accessibility isn't about memorizing the ARIA spec. It's about building tools that make it hard to fail. But it's also about being humble enough to know that a perfect system doesn't survive contact with reality. You need the rigor of an engineer for your components, but the flexibility of the hacker for your features. This has been Web Accessibility for All. Keep coding, keep building, and let's make the web include everyone. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.